My name is Andrea Johnson, and just to give you a quick overview of what my lesson plan was on, it was on job mentoring skills, teaching people how to work with people of different learning styles and different mentoring techniques. So originally I was going to have or be able to show you guys an actual trainer training someone, but because of our regulations and transition out on the floor, that was just not going to be possible. So what we did was we came together with our feedback. The trainers and the trainees did, just saying, we're talking about their success, failures, issues, what they think could be better. So from there, what we're going to do is collaboratively come up with some type of just something to make training better. So now what we're going to do, I just want to introduce trainers and trainees that we have here, and they're intermingled. They are intermingled within each other, and they have just brought their feedback to the table of how things have gone for them out on the floor. So I don't know, we can start anywhere. It's pretty informal, wherever you guys want to start. So here we have Robert Redmond. He is a trainer, and he's just going to give us just a little bit of feedback of how it went being a trainer, training someone, and go right ahead, Robert.
I'm a trainer. Basically, I train servicers and I train operators. Especially with the servicers, you want to kind of read the person and to kind of see what type of training they might need or what kind of information they might need.
How did you feel while you were training? Like, did you feel like you were successful from the training?
Yes, I was very successful because, you definitely just got to know and be informed of what you're training this person about. Mm-hmm. Then you want to try to get to know the person and let them know what they're here for. Mm-hmm. Why are they here? That's important too.
Were you comfortable doing that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any issues or anything out there?
You get your issues. Like you get people that comes that don't want to be here that long, that want to give you attitude. You have them issues and stuff like that. It's just best to figure it out as soon as possible, mm-hmm. and go back to your manager and try to inform them this is what's going on.
Okay. All right. So, thank you, Robert. Next we have George, who I will have to say is an exceptional employee now, but he was recently trained. So he is one of our trainees. So George, how did you feel being trained? Do you feel like you got proper training while out on the floor?
I have a little bit of advantage over most people because I've actually been in this type of business before. But I see a lot of things that go on out there. People just have no clue how these machines work and are completely lost by what you're trying to teach them.
Okay.
I think they need a little better understanding of basically how the machine works before you start explaining how to fix it.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Something else I was going to ask you, George, was you did catch on very quickly, and of course that was because of your previous jobs. But even now, because I know even though you have been trained, you are also a trainer. So out of the two, what do you think you did best as a trainer to like kind of like change that issue that you just stated you had, or that you see other people have?
Well, actually working with the people I work with, like Robert and Mary and a couple other folks, I've gotten to be a little better understanding of how the plan actually is supposed to run, and I can actually interpret that for other people, explaining, okay, you're doing this because we had to do this, this, and this.
Okay, thank you. Next we have Mary, who is a trainer. She works in our quality department, but she also backfills on our floor as an operator at times. So just, give us a little feedback on being a trainer and how you felt out there as a trainer and some of the issues you may have had.
Well, I had experiment training people in quality. Some of my trainees, I feel like, was interested in being a quality inspector, and some of them feel like they just wanted a job. You can tell by the way that when you're training a person, that they listen to you and pay attention to you. Then you can tell the way that some people just here just for the money.
Okay. Well, did you pick up any skills during the actual training that helped you to kind of like work through those issues as far as people that are just here for the money, or was there anything that you learned that you can kind of help change their mindset or help them be better at their job?
Yes, I let them know that being a quality inspector is very important to a job because you're saving life in the type of job that we are doing. So you have to be very interested in the job.
Next we have Matt Wolf, who is also he's a trainee or has been trained. So if you can just, Spill your guts, Matt.
At the beginning, there's so many different multiple style machines out there. I really would like to know the process. The process is the same for all, but they all do it a little bit differently.
Okay, so there's no uniformity in the way you were being trained, because you were being trained by different people?
Well, and you just have so many multiple style machines out there. They're all bigger, compares.
Okay.
But the process on every one of them is all identical, how the machines are. And as far as the trainee, I mean, I probably have about 5 or 6 different trainers.
Oh, okay.
Each one has their own opinion on how to do something. I mean, it all, at the end, it did work, but they're like, well, I thought we did this one, but you hear it this way.
So it's confusing.
You know, there should be one basic way to run every machine out there. This is how this machine works. This is how you do it. You know, and then throughout my time being back there, I've had multiple people come in and try to help.
Okay.
Walk up and just reset it and walk away, or walk up and halfway through the process, you got to call somebody.
Okay. So when you had those issues, it was just anyone walking up. It wasn't necessarily someone who was trained.
Right.
It was just an employee like her.
You know, I'm sure they're trained. I don't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and if they would come up to try to help me, I don't know.
But they never showed you what they did to make the problem go away or to fix the
Well, a
issue.
lot of times they didn't follow the thing go away, and then I'd have to call somebody, what you do? You know, and it's-
Right.
No, but I never wanted to say, well, this idiot came up and
Right.
did this, and this, because I didn't know what they did.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but then and during the training, I was, backing up like on 2 different cells, the bridges, and it's just law of average. As soon as one person walks away, 4 different lines go off at the exact same time.
Okay. So what I'm hearing basically from, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get to you too, so far, is that, I'm going to get to you, is that there's a lot of confusion because there's a lot of different people training you when you're trying to do your job. So you're there's no consistency out there.
I was thinking, let's finish doing a process first. And every machine's going to basically run through the exact same process.
I'm listening to you.
And when you do the process, okay, what's the first step? Injection molding.
Okay.
Machine on. Material. How is the process of every one of these machines? What's common? And it is all common, actually, when you look at it.
Okay, Matt. So, thank you, Matt, for your feedback. Yes, so spill your guts, Matt. Thank you. So next we have Mike Weidman, another person that has been here a little bit, but he is recently trained. And so I just want you to kind of tell me, and you spill your guts too. You tell me how it was being trained on the floor.
I'm gonna keep it plain and simple.
Okay.
But it's okay. I ain't have no problems with nobody. But I gotta touch on what George was saying. Like they need to show like a video or something on how the machine works first.
Okay.
Before they just throw you out there to the wolves, you know what I mean? To start things up and everything.
Okay. This is actually something that can help us. These two are kind of like the issues, and this is something that can definitely help out when before you guys actually go out on the floor.
Right.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, no, that's about it.
Okay. We had Matt tell a lot, right?
Covered it all. Covered it all, man.
So, last but definitely not least, the one and only Stevie T. So he's a trainer, and he works in multiple departments as well, process operator, warehouse. But so you can kind of give us feedback on being both a trainer and a trainee, because you just recently was trained as a warehouse person, but prior to that you were an operator. So tell me both sides of that, being a trainer.
You on both sides?
First, I want you to tell me your trainee side, how you felt.
I can't remember my trainee side. That was a while ago, but I think being trained by a trainer, you gotta be gotta be. You gotta work well under loud noise.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it's loud out there.
Yeah.
You have to be able to hear.
You do.
You don't want to take them off because if you can't hear them and they're just saying the same thing over and over again,
Right.
you might get the short end of what you're supposed to do just because maybe they want to repeat themselves.
Right. So it's probably best to kind of, like Mike said, do a video
Yeah.
in-house,
Yeah.
kind of showing you those things, and then when you go on the floor, you kind of like apply those applications that you've been taught through the video. Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. You can tell me as a trainer, because you have been a trainer, so you tell me as a trainer what your strengths and weaknesses and some of the issues or whatever you can have.
Yeah, definitely as a trainer, you just want to, like they kind of said, you want to be able to read them because, you know, I mean, you're kind of feeding them a lot of information at once.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, it would be good for them if they came with a notepad and a pen. You know, they're pretty serious about learning. So make sure you speak clearly and you show them what you learned when you were being trained. And
now, do you think that's something that maybe as the trainer they should kind of provide to the trainee, like because of course you're their first point of contact. So you need to kind of give them all the tools they need to be successful. And if they choose to kind of like not take those tools and use them to be the best they can be out there on the floor, then you can kind of say, oh, okay. Because you've given them the tools, you've given them the paper, you've given them the pen, you've given them the video, if there was one.
Right.
And you kind of like walk through all those things. So,
like you open up the door, so to speak, it's up to them to walk through.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. All right.
I do just got something to touch on being a trainer. A lot of these trainers, you got random trainers, like they'll pick you. And I feel like instead of showing them like your shortcuts, like some of these guys will just hit cancel on the presses and don't hit cancel, just hit manufacturer and hit manual.
So basically the trainers aren't being trained.
Well, not the trainers, it's just that everybody want to show them, oh, you can do it faster if you do it like this. You show them the right way, instead of saying, well, hit cancel, because they'll hit cancel, then they'll think they acknowledge the press.
Right.
And what you did is just turn the sound off. Because
I'm listening, I'm sorry.
because a lot of my servicers, like, they've been trained by, different people, and all they do is go to the presses and hit cancel thinking they acknowledge it. So they're standing there like, well, why won't go in single? And it's like, well, don't hit cancel, just acknowledge it, try to start it up.
Okay.
So it should, like, what I'm saying is the trainer should be showing one way instead of showing their personal shortcuts.
Okay. So when trainers are being trained for job mentoring skills, what we can do now is kind of like collectively take all the stuff that we have kind of spilled out, our issues, our strengths, our weaknesses, and kind of come to a conformity of what we think would be best for the trainers to do so that they can be completely effective to the trainees. So just, shout them out. One thing you just said, I'm sorry, was consistency.
Consistency. Don't show them your shortcuts. Like, if there's a way to do the job,
Show them the right way.
show them the right way. Then you let them do it the right way for a while, you know what I'm saying? And let them pick up their own shortcuts when they're not with you. Because a lot of these trainers, they just go up and they hit cancel. And they're standing there 15 minutes like...
Yeah. So it's trainers, no shortcuts.
Yeah, no
It
shortcuts.
needs to be consistency. What else? As a trainer.
You actually break it up a little bit for people. You have the keyboard.
The trainers or the trainees?
The trainers.
The trainer.
You have the keyboard systems, you have the touchscreen systems. You have to make them comfortable with one before you start throwing the other one at them because you're just confusing them.
So break up all the systems.
Same with the programs. You have the old style, you have the new style.
Okay.
And as a trainee, just give me one trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need all these people telling me what to
Assign
do.
one trainer.
There you go.
And that's the biggest problem at the job, because we know Mike can't be on everybody's crew training everybody. So the manager will be like, oh, just go train with such and such. And this person has been here for 2 days. I think management need to be up on that board too to know. Because Reese's training people and she don't even... I'm sorry.
Okay, so management needs to be trained.
Yes, on how to delegate people to being managed. Being trained, excuse me.
Okay. Anything else for trainers or for trainees? You can fill them out like, and this will be like, this is kind of like the end result. as a result of consistency, as a result of no shortcuts, as a result of breaking up the system and having management kind of involved, the trainees are able to be assigned one trainer. The trainees are able to have.
I feel like they shouldn't be scared to ask a question. Like if they ask you like 3 questions in 1 minute, it's just because they don't know.
Right.
They shouldn't be scared to ask questions to get it right.
So what can trainers do with their trainees so that they have that familiarity or that comfortableness to be able to say, I have so many questions, but I don't know what I'm doing?
Well,
I think that kind of goes back to being assigned one trainee or a
Okay.
trainer as well. You know what I mean? Because
So
if
that
you stick
person
with
can
that
feel
person,
comfortable
yeah,
to talk
if you're
to
giving
them,
them
to understand.
2 or 3 different people, some people might carry themselves different.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So
then you gotta read the people that's training too. Like Mike is a good trainer. He will sit down, he'll let you take out your pad, your pen, write it down, make sure you get it. And you actually, people has worked like Mike. I know that's been trained like Mike. They work like him.
Okay.
So that's a good trainer. So you just gotta make sure the people that you pick is ready to take the patience, the time, and
Right.
the energy.
So what about people that just say, because when you have job mentoring skills training, you don't go and pick people. I mean, you can, but what about those people who feel like, I think I might be a good trainer?
I mean, you gotta speak up. You gotta talk to somebody. Interview them. Like, have you trained people before? This is not just.
Well, that's what the training is about, helping
Right.
to get that person to that
Yeah.
level to be able to train someone.
Mhm.
So I guess it would be up to the physical trainer of the trainers to say, you probably didn't cut it.
Right.
But how do we give them that chance to see if they cut it? By doing stuff like this, by having them actually go out and train people, getting feedback from the trainees, and then coming back and actually telling the trainers what that feedback was in order for them to either better themselves or kind of bow out. Because ultimately, like you said, you want it to be consistent, you want people to be out there doing what they're supposed to be doing in the correct way. So
And everybody's not a trainer.
everybody is not a trainer. Right.
Then I feel too, like, I know you said we should supply people with books and stuff like that. I just think that's a little extreme because we know we get like a turnaround. We just get people coming here quick.
Yeah, we do.
But
But you still have to.
I want to offer
Still have to
something,
feel
but I want
something
to
to give
see.
them something to work with.
Right.
Like instead of throwing them out there
Yeah, I
on the floor.
understand that, but I want them to see them come with something. Because you get people that be like, I'm
Well,
just
what if
here
I'm
for
a new
6 months.
person?
Right.
I don't know
True,
what this place
true.
is about.
So how can I come with
That should be the
something
purpose of the
and I
video.
don't know?
But I said,
The video's
That's
good.
Right,
where,
that
'cause
video
now you're
is a good
giving
idea.
somebody an idea of what actually goes on out there, and they're saying, okay, you're doing
Right.
injection molding, and they're going, okay,
Right.
and looking at the ceiling going, what in the hell is that?
Right.
And then another thing that you see, like Ken lately, walk them here to the door. They do not know what's going on the other side of that
Right.
door unless they put on their coat and go out there and have an idea. The first day, they got their coat on, they sit in the cafeteria, wait for the supervisor to go out there, and then they get with a person. Then maybe the next day they get with another person. They're confused from the first day
Right.
because they ain't got caught on real good from the first day, and now you're gonna throw them to the second person.
Right.
it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. Come on out there. Like,
Right.
Then too, if we're gonna start them as the cleaner to move on to a servicer, or they're gonna jump right into servicer. Because I know that happens a lot too. Like they'll start as a cleaner, then some people will skip over from being a cleaner and go right into the servicer.
And you have to know that is purely because of operational needs.
Right.
They actually changed it so that cleaners, when you come in, you are a cleaner. But, like if a person is like, like a George or a Michael, like they kind of catch on pretty quick or whatever, you just kind of go out, you do your cleaning, and then you kind of catch on, and before you know it, you're doing press servicing. However, in doing those transitions, the beginning portion of it should be effective training. So, I know that definitely starts with trainer to trainer and then trainer to trainee. So we'll just have to work on doing that better and being just a little bit more effective and making sure that it's the same across the board.
And another thing is when you're training a person, you have to stay there with the person. A lot of times the person train the person and walk away, and that person lost that the person he's supposed to training his mouth and looking all over for him. I mean, you should have the communication like, hey, I'm stepping away, I'm going to the bathroom, I'll be right back.
Right.
You know,
So
so that
having
person
have
know
the
where you at.
Trainers and trainees need to have communication with each other. Got it.
And just to elaborate, I think, you know, if you dedicate yourself to be a trainer, you know, you should be able to, you should stay with that person.
A lot of times
They don't. They
And
interrupt.
during job mentoring skills training, those are some of the things that are pointed out. You stay with the person, you figure out what type of person they are, what type of learner they are, what their needs are, what will be the best thing for them to be successful out on the floor. So I just want to thank you guys so much. We have, you know, kind of put together a little something to make sure that when going through job mentoring skills training, you're able to, or we can add these things in, especially for the trainees. We can add these things in so that they can be better trained as trainers as well as trainees. So I just want to thank all of you very much. And we definitely will have a part 2 to this. So keep on keeping your notes. And thank you guys.